Now you can also use spotlight painting to kind of do some concept work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Texture, Import, and I'm going to grab a wall JPEG. This is just a generic sci-fi wall. So if I go here to Texture, I select that and I hit the plus sign. That's going to throw this into Spotlight. And you can see it's just a grayscale, like sci-fi wall concept image. So let's hit Shift-Z to go out of Spotlight. And let's go in here to our, say, Cube 3D. Drag this out, go into Edit Mode, make Polymesh 3D. And we're going to go ahead and use our gizmo. Let's say we want to make a sci-fi wall. And we want to concept a sci-fi wall. Now, of course, you can use ZModeler to just start modeling a wall. There's any number of ways to do this. Insert mesh brushes, alpha stamps, all this good stuff. But you can also use Spotlight. So let's go in here. Let's go into Geometry, Dynamesh. Let's turn off blur. Let's go ahead and just Dynamesh this. Resolution 128. Depending on how much resolution you need, you can go ahead and make that higher or lower as needed. And I've hit Z to bring back our spotlight image here. I can go ahead and turn off polyframe. You can see we can position the spotlight. We can go ahead and make this more or less opaque. If we go Z to go into sculpting mode, what we can do is if we have our standard brush selected with Z add turned on, as we're sculpting through, it will go ahead and start projecting that geometry through. You can go through here and you can try to get this to work. You can like use drag rectangle to kind of just, inflate it. But what I prefer to do is go out of Z add mode. Let's just go to RGB. I'm going to paint what I want from this image onto my wall here. So if I want to take maybe like, oops, let's change this back to dot stroke. Maybe this portion here. But maybe at the top and the bottom, let's go ahead and turn our geometry this way. I want to have it capped at the top and the bottom with this one here, so I can go through here and I can just paint this on. So essentially what I'm doing is painting my concept onto here. Now of course I can move this around, I can continue to extend this out. I can make like a border panel based on this little section right here, and then maybe a floor panel with this section right here. And in between here, if I want a door, I can hit Z, I can move this over. And let's say I want this to be a two-sided door, so I'm going to go down here to flip horizontally and move this over. And I'll go ahead and position this so that that door fits right in here. I'm going to go ahead and paint it on, half of it anyways. I'm going to hit Z, and we're going to flip it horizontally. Hit Z again, go to this other half here. Go ahead and paint this half of the door. So essentially what I'm doing is just concept painting this grayscale image onto my mesh. Now, of course, you do want to make sure your Dynamesh is higher enough resolution so that you're getting the resolution you need. You can see we're getting kind of spotty indications in here. I'm not overly concerned, but essentially what I'm doing is painting an image from just bits and pieces of a sci-fi wall onto this thing, so that what I can do now is go down here to masking, mask by color, mask by intensity, and now we can go up here to subtool, turn off colorizing. You see I've masked by my concept. And if you want to get rid of the masking on the back face, if you were painting and it painted through and you forgot to go into your brush settings like I did and go to auto masking and turn off back face masking, that's okay. You can hold down Control Shift and you can isolate this back part here, and you can go over here to color, fill object. I'm sorry, unmask, go to color, fill object, so we can just get rid of that. And now this is the only part. So again, we'll just go down here really quickly to mask by color, intensity, and then turn off poly paint there. So now this will be unmasked. And now with that masked, we can go down here to deformation, inflate, or deflate, or you can do both actually. You can also tighten this up. You can hold down Control Alt, and you can increase the contrast, as well as, if you remember, going down here to masking, mask adjust. Please Control Z to undo these adjustments here. You can turn off blur. You can change your focal shift here. So if you change this focal shift to a very high negative, it'll go ahead and just mask out the borders there. And if you change it to the right, it'll increase the contrast. So you can use this curve, and of course you can reset this and kind of treat it like a levels to clean up your masking if you want to. But anyways, what we can do is, since we have the darker areas are masked, we can go to deformation. We can do an inflate through the unmasked areas. Control tap. We can do a deflate, the masked areas, and you can kind of just start concepting out where your sci-fi panels might go. Again, the resolution isn't high. It's not very clean, but you can go through here and you can kind of clean this out. And remember, you can also go back into your brushes here. And if you have any of those converted hard surface alphas, or you've made some of your own, we can go in here to, like, let's grab some vents. You can hit M, and I'm just going to grab maybe this one here. And also remember, you can always go here to backface masking, so as you're dragging this out, it's not affecting that. And you can also change the Z intensity. So you can, again, we're just concepting. We're just trying to get our ideas out. So you can go through here, make any changes you want. You can use your H polish brush, or you can use your trim brushes as well. Might be good if we hit the comma key under brush, trim. You can try doing some of these trim brushes to kind of clean this out. Essentially, the trim brushes, if you hold down Alt with this trim front, and let's go ahead and add an alpha here. You can go through here and hold down Alt. You could also have stored a morph target and use your morph brush to, store a morph target, hit switch, and then use your morph brush to morph these out. So a lot of different ways to go through here. And again, just getting your ideas out quickly, as well as going in here to your hard surface alphas. You can go through here. In fact, if I hit the comma key, I believe there's base shapes in here. And again, you can make your own. We've covered that a little bit. So you can go through here and add panels like this. You can hold down Alt and cut in panels. You can change the Z intensity. And remember, if this isn't enough resolution for you, feel free to go up here to your Dynamesh, crank that resolution up. So now you drag this out, you get a much finer cut here. And then once it's all blocked out, you can quickly put this in Engine if you want to and evaluate it as needed, but you can also use this as a kind of a 3D concept to go through and rebuild as your final idea.